Hello, this is the 258th edition of Catch of the Day, available on the Branch Talk YouTube channel. Today we're going to continue to read from a book written by Trent Wilde entitled The Mosaic Torah. Starting midway through page 20, we read, "There are actually over 30 doublets throughout the Torah, and even some triplets, such as in the case of the Ten Commandments, Exodus 20, Exodus 34, and Deuteronomy 5. One of the things that was most intriguing to the scholars about these doublets, especially those in Genesis, was that in many of them God was referred to by different names in each version. In the doublet of the institution of the Abrahamic covenant, for instance, one version, Genesis 15, exclusively refers to God as Yahweh, the unique name of the God of Israel, whereas the other version, Genesis 17, exclusively refers to him with variations of the word El, generically a title for any god, specifically the name of the chief god of the Canaanite pantheon. The collection of stories that most often refer to God as Yahweh reflected the idea that the name Yahweh was known to humanity since the beginning of human history, and was thus designated by the letter J, since Yahweh is spelled with a J in German, the language of many of the scholars initially involved in this research. And the collection, which used variations of El, reflected the idea that humans didn't know the name Yahweh until it was revealed to Moses, and so it was designated by the letter E. Triplets, among other things, quickly led scholars to recognize a third source, which shared E's view that God was not known as Yahweh until the time of Moses, but also had a unique concern with priestly issues. Footnote 26. It must be kept in mind that all the sources comfortably use both Yahweh and variations of El to refer to God. It is only that J understands the name Yahweh to be known and used by humans prior to Moses' lifetime, whereas E and P understand the name Yahweh to only be revealed to humans during Moses' lifetime. Because of this, E and P use Yahweh far less frequently in the parts of their writings which tell of events prior to the revelation of the name Yahweh to Moses in Exodus 3, E and 6P respectively. It was called P. Scholars noticed that if you line up all the J stories and read them straight through, they flowed very well together and told an internally consistent story. The same thing could be done with E and with P. This held true for the beginning of Genesis to the end of Numbers. The next step was to recognize that J, E, and P did not continue into Deuteronomy, but that it was primarily composed of another source, which scholars called D, for obvious reasons. These sources were pieced together in at least 2 stages of editorial process, which scholars call redaction. The first stage of this process was the combining of J and E, which produced a text sometimes called JE, with the scribe who produced it being called RJE, redactor of J and E. The last stage of redaction was to combine JE together with P, D, and several other small literary fragments, which are not a part of J, E, P, or D, to create the Torah as we have it. The final editor is known by scholars as R. This view of the authorship and composition of the Torah came to be known as the documentary hypothesis, and over time, line upon line of evidence has arisen further supporting and refining it. Our purpose here is not to explain or explore this model in all its details, but to simply show that the Torah is a mosaic of originally separate documents. The best way to do this is to examine the text itself. We'll look at just 2 examples. Noah's flood, Genesis 6, 1-9 and 17. J. And it happened, when the humans began to multiply on the face of the earth, and the daughters were born to them, that the children of the Elohim saw the human daughters that they were good, and they captured for themselves women from all that they chose. And Yahweh said, My breath in these humans will not be strong for very long, insomuch as they are flesh, and their days will be 120 years. The Nephilim were in the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the children of the Elohim had sex with the human daughters. Footnote 27. Elohim is a form of the word El, which has the feminine suffix OH, along with the masculine plural ending IM. It often refers collectively to a group or groups of deities, including both gods and goddesses. 28. The Hebrew phrase would be more literally translated as went into, and is a common idiom for sex. And they bore children of them. These were the mighty ones from ancient times, the people of renown. And Yahweh saw that the humans were very bad in the earth, and all the inclinations of the thoughts of their hearts were only bad every day. And Yahweh regretted that he had made the humans in the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. And Yahweh said, I will wipe out the humans whom I separated from on the face of the earth, from humans to beasts, to creeping things, and to birds of the sky, for I regret that I made them. But Noah found favor in the eyes of Yahweh. Take care.